এবার মনে হয়
জি স্যার,
Okay. Okay. Let's start the section 5 and the last section of first module. Sustainable production and consumption. All venture highly or largely depends on the production system, right? So to achieve sustainability, it is mandatory to concentrate on the production system. In this section, we are going to focus on sustainable production and consumption. Then particularly what is sustainable production and what are the challenges toward sustainable production. Then what is sustainable consumption and what issues are burning over there. Firstly, focusing on sustainable production and consumption togetherly. Academically, it can be said that the uses of product or products and related service or services through reducing the uses of natural resources and diminishing utilization of contaminated ingredients, as well as the discharging of waste and contaminants throughout the products and or services life cycle without hampering the future generations' requirement. It's a long sentence. What it means, the entire production system, it may be resultant from product or service, whatever you are producing, you must concern about the using of natural resources. We should focus on reducing the uses of natural resources as much as we can and eliminating the utilization or uses of contaminated ingredients, bad ingredients, which is harmful. We shouldn't use these ingredients in our production procedure. As well as be careful about discharging of waste. Corporates should discharge the waste in such a manner which is friendly to the environment, or they can reuse the waste, or they can produce energy, for example, from the waste. And it should happen throughout entire life of the product or service. And such mechanism should be developed, and it should not limit the need of the future people generations. For example, you are finishing all the resources. There is nothing for the future generation. So how they will survive, or how they will meet their requirements. So once you are going for production, you should remember that there are lots of generation are coming after you. They will follow the same production procedure. So sustainable production and consumption focus on 3 issues while addressing corporate sustainability. For corporate sustainability, production is very much important, no doubt, as well as consumption is also essential to address. To do so, 3 issues should be focused: separating environmental degradation due to economic growth. Second one, appealing for considering the life cycle of the venture. And thirdly, shortening the prospects for developing countries. Start with the first issue, separating as well as reducing environmental degradation due to economic growth. No doubt, through the production, everybody wants to achieve economic growth, but there should be a boundary that you are getting your growth, but you are not degrading the environment. You are not hampering the environment. in last discussion, maybe Mr. Uttam told about the what it say, Chingdi issue in Bangladesh, which destroyed the land in a particular region of our country. So it is not expected. You are producing, you are getting economic growth, but degrading your environment, it is not accepted. Protecting the environment through avoiding degradation and pollution over the entire life of the venture, which is resulted from your economic advancement. You are getting your economic advancement, but protecting the environment also. Avoid pollution, avoid degradation of your land, and appealing to consider the venture life cycle. That means you have to consider your whole life cycle of your business, not only a particular production. You have to be very careful about your waste disposal. You dispose your waste in a manner that doesn't hamper to the people in the society, in the environment, or you can reuse the waste. You can get energy from your waste, and you have to be very careful and cautious regarding extraction of natural resources and supply chain in all the phases of your venture or the life cycle. And last one is shorting prospects for developing countries. In developing countries, there may be new markets opportunities which are not explored yet. For example, if you innovate a product which is very environmental friendly, for example, your ice cream that you have start talking this evening, you are eating the ice cream and throw out the packet in the road. But if the packet is environmental friendly, if you throw in the road, it will mix with the soil and it will not hamper the environment. Then you will get the benefit of your innovation and everybody will encourage you. And there will be a lot of people starting following you. And in our developing countries, we look for sustainable job, stable job, and improve welfare. And we want a safe management of natural resources for safe products. And these all are essential for sustainable production and consumption. Now we particularly focusing on sustainable production only, not consumption will be discussed here. Product or service design and development, product service engineering, and production procedures that minimize negative impacts on the environment, but upholding the quality and conforming the safety measures is sustainable production. So your product design or development phase, in your re-engineering phase, and your procedure, everywhere environment is not impacted. There will be no negative effect on the environment. But through your production system, your quality will be improved and safety measure will be ensured. This is sustainable production. And sustainable production upholds social and environmental issues as well as faces different challenges. If you do such good production system or follow that system, adopt that strategy, definitely there will be lots of challenges. Wrong perception in economic and financial issues. First challenge for the sustainable production. Sometimes we don't understand what is the economic and financial issues basically. And it is very frequent that we give the most priority on economic and financial growth over social and environmental factors. This is the wrong perception. We shouldn't prioritize economic or financial issues over the environmental and social sustainability factors. If we do that, it creates a misunderstanding and corporates lose their sustainability. So the perception should be clear. We have economic motive, no doubt, but simultaneously, we are very much cautious about social and economic sustainability. Second challenge, struggling for innovation. Innovation is not come from or resulted from your dream or our dream. Innovation is a result from hard struggle. But why is the challenge? The challenge is if you have wrong mindset and wrong organizational structure. Wrong mindset means you are not likely to take risk. You are not interested to give freedom to your employee. If your mindset is like that, in that case, how you expect innovation? Or you have very wrong organizational structure, very clumsy structure. With such obstacle, innovation is not possible and innovative production system is not ensured. But it's a challenge. If you can change your mindset, if you can align your organizational structure, definitely you can develop your innovative production system. And if you have weak monitoring and evaluation system over your production procedure, that means you are weak to monitor whether your production system is hampering environment. You are very weak in evaluating your procedure, whether it is threatening to the society. So this is a challenge. And at any cost, we have to overcome this challenge. We have to have a very strong monitoring and evaluation system about our production procedure, which is very much environmental and society friendly. And lack of experts. If we have lacking in our knowledge about sustainability measures, if we don't understand what is sustainability, what is the environmental factor, what are the crucial social issues, if you don't understand the issues, consequently, we will not focus on that issues. So, we lose our sustainability in our production. Now, sustainable consumption. Production is apart from corporates, and usually, not always or normally, usually it is assumed that consumption is the responsibility of the consumers. It is not always correct. Consumption, as a consumer, I am consuming, it's my duty to consume it properly. But if you give me such a product after consumption, I will throw the package in the street and it will make environmental threats. Is not only my responsibility. It is also corporate's responsibility. And in consumption, they can use hybrid electric locomotives. We can use cycles or renewable energy, so that we can prove we are environmental friendly in our consumption pattern. Responsible consumption. Sustainable consumption is a must for facing the challenges from climate change, pollution, and loss of biodiversity. If we don't consume sustainability, definitely there will be pollution, threat to the environment, climate will be changed, biodiversity will be lost. This will be caused due to wrong consumption pattern. And there are some issues that we need to focus in our consumption pattern, which influence sustainability: education and information, materialism and collectivism, normative responsibility and behavior, awareness, and lastly, environmental responsibility and sensitivity. I'm going to each issue separately now. Education and information. It's very normal that if you have sufficient good educational background, good level of education, as well as you have sufficient information about the product, its effect, then the consumption will be sustainable, no doubt. Because if we have lost full complete information about the product, what is the side effect, etc., then you will be very careful about the consuming the product. So more social education and available information, more sustainable consumption. Secondly, materialism and collectivism. What is materialism? Materialism means instead of other things, we are very objective toward, we are very oriented towards some objects. That is materialism. And collective social behavior, ignoring impacts, downgrade sustainable consumption. That means if we are so much materialistic and our social behavior ignore the impacts of sustainability, in that case, our consumption is downgraded. So it is suggested that we should lower our materialism and higher our collectivism behavior pattern. Then we are encouraged for sustainability. The normative behavior, responsibility and behavior. Normative, it came from norm. That means responsibility based and behavior based on norms, not the rules, norms. So unethical behavior, action and decision make the sustainable consumption vulnerable. You are doing unethical behavior, taking unethical action, deciding without ethics. Definitely there will be an imbalance between the wealth consumption. Poor will be more poorer, rich will be richer. There will be no balance between the between these classes. So consumption automatically became vulnerable. So normative responsibilities as well as behavior must be shaped toward sustainable consumption. And awareness, it is a part of corporates' responsibility. They should aware people properly about sustainable consumption. Otherwise, it will be vulnerable. If the corporates aware the people about the environmental factors, about the product, the consumer or customer will know everything from the beginning, and they will be alert about the consumption pattern, and they will consume accordingly. And corporates should aware people regarding society and environment. They should inform people what the parameter should be maintained, what are the regulation should be followed. If they aware people accordingly, consumption pattern will be changed accordingly, and it will be go toward sustainable consumption. And finally, environmental responsibility and sensitivity. Not only corporates, we, the general people, both have the responsibility toward the environment. We cannot say that only corporate will take the responsibility of environment. No, I also have that responsibility. So it's a joint effort. But the corporate should ensure that they have made their customers responsible and sensitive toward the environment. Though it is saying corporate should do that, but yeah, corporate will do that, but as well as we should be responsible and sensitive about the environment. We are sensitive about ourselves, so we should be sensitive about the society. We should be sensitive about the environment. And if we are so sensitive about the environment, our consumption will be sensitive. We will not throw our chewing gum in the street. Instead of that, we will throw it in the specific bin. That is sustainability in consumption pattern. And that's all about sustainable production and consumption. And this is the end of section 5 of the first module. And I am welcoming you about your question and queries. Thank you.